aditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So, the next verse. The teaching, which is what now you have seen, each class had a different aspect. What exactly is the culmination of this teaching? You inquired into the nature of I. You inquired into the nature of Ishvara. Where does it all culminate? What is the final vision of this teaching? What does it really want to say?
All is one.
Exactly. All that is here is one. If it is all that is here is one, why do you do inquiry into Jiva, Ishvara? You have terms like Maya, you have Stula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Karana Sharira. You have so many terms. Jagat, universe. If all that is here is one, why do you have all these different terms and all these different explanations?
Because as a person I see so many different things.
Excellent. Right? I am the one who wants to know, and I see many things. I see human beings, I see mountains, I see rivers, I see situations coming to me, I see my emotional responses, I see all that, and I have questions. I have questions about why I am what I am, why somebody else is what somebody else is, why these situations come to me, who created this whole universe in which I find myself and I find others, what is the purpose of this creation. All these questions I have. And if I tell you, don't worry about any of these questions, all that is here is one. I'm saying the fact, but what will you understand?
It's just a concept.
You will just create some concept, right? Now, what is the teaching?
Knowledge.
The teaching is where you see many, retaining all these forms, I have to make you see one. Not negating. Retaining these forms, I have to make you see all that is here is one. Therefore, it requires inquiry. It requires reconciliation. Because we are not trying to eliminate the forms. We are not trying to eliminate anything physically. We are just trying to understand the truth of that thing. That's why you need everything. Because you do experience the aches and pains of your physical body. You do experience emotions of your mind. You do experience situations that come to you which sometimes throws you off. I can't say all this is what? False? Illusion? No. I have to validate it, but in spite of it, I have to show you non-duality. Non-duality does not mean disappearance of form. In spite of forms, there is what? Non-duality. This is the vision. No appearance or disappearance of form shakes your vision of non-duality. That is knowledge, unshakable. Okay? And therefore, to validate all these forms, you have to understand the form here is one, it seems, but here itself, what Vedanta says, there are three things: physical body, subtle body, and causal body. So you analyze. In fact, by analyzing, making 1 and 2, 3, are you giving it more reality? Are you giving, oh yeah, but then you're giving more reality to my individuality, because where I thought it was 1, you're making now into 3. Am I? I'm giving you clarity about what this individuality is. And then showing you something which is more fundamental than all three, upon which all three depend. So therefore, sophisticated, Vedanta is sophisticated. It's not this fluffy, oneness, it's not that. Okay? Therefore, the whole thing is, what is the vision is, all that is here is one, and that one includes all jiva, all the individuals, and also what? The cause which has manifested all these individuals. The one includes both jiva and Ishvara. That's why there is a teaching. What is the teaching? Jiva is told what? What is Jiva told? Tat Tvam Asi. That is you, the individual, and like you, hundreds of different individuals. When you inquire into that individuality, where does it resolve? In awareness. Then you ask one more question, yes, but how did we all individual come? There is a cause of the universe. What is the nature of the cause of the universe? Knowledge and power to manifest. How did it make that universe from knowledge and power? What is the material it used to make the universe? All these questions you need to answer. Excellent. Right? Then you have to introduce Ishvara. Then it seems, my God, this Ishvara is huge. That created, or that which brings into manifestation time, space, every form in time and space, all the laws that govern those forms. It's huge. Then again you start thinking, but how can I be that? Where is the in every equation there is a point of resolution. Please understand, what is an equation? When I say 5 is equal to 5, is it an equation? No. 5 is equal to 5 is not an equation. Why?
Because it's 5.
Exactly. Because it's only 5, right? What is an equation? When I say 3 plus 2 is equal to 6 minus 1, is it an equation? Yes, it's an equation. Why is it an equation? Because
Two different
Seemingly.
excellent, excellent. As Sahajo says, it's an equation because two seemingly different things resolve into one. Understand that. Right? 3 plus 2 is equal to what? 5. 6 minus 1 is equal to what? 5. Two seemingly different things resolve in one. What is the point of resolution? What is the point of resolution in this equation? 5. 5 is a point of resolution. Where is the equality? If you try to resolve this equation at a wrong place, for example, you can say 3 plus 2 is equal to 6 minus 1, therefore 3 is equal to 6. Plus is equal to minus. 2 is equal to 1. You are messed up. Understand, the point of resolution is very, very critical where you resolve that equation. If you resolve it at a wrong point, you are more deluded than what? A normal person. You start thinking, I am Ishvara. Because everything is one. And I am equated to Ishvara. The point of resolution, the clarity comes from not what? Resolving the equation at a wrong place but at the right place. In this case, the identity between Jiva and Ishvara, where is it resolved? In awareness. If you try to say, I am equated to Ishvara, therefore I am all knowledge, wrong. If you say, I am Ishvara, therefore I have all power, I will ask you to lift this little room. Lift it.
I feel miserable because I cannot come up with the task.
Right? Where there is a difference in 3 and 6, there is no equality. In plus and minus, there is no equality. In 2 and 1, there is no equality. Where is the equality is at 5, as Gabi said. Ishvara, what? All knowledge and all power, which doesn't have ignorance. Is because of whose Maya, the capacity, I have ignorance. Capacity to veil, Avarana Shakti, because of which I have ignorance. Who am I? That little individual who's struggling to understand Vedanta.
Ishvara also gives in ignorance.
Exactly, that's what. The ignorance that I have is a result of Avarana Shakti of Ishvara. Avarana Shakti means capacity to veil the reality. Yes? So therefore, I, the individual with limited knowledge and limited power, and Ishvara, which is all knowledge and all power, are equated. And the point of resolution is awareness. So if you have clarity in the vision, then you will say what? Will you say Ishvara is mithya? Is Ishvara mithya? Does it depend upon you, which is awareness? You are bigger than Ishvara? Are you bigger? Oh, Ishvara is mithya and I am satyam. Oh, wow. This understanding requires a mind which has clarity. So many possibilities of mistakes. So many. Infinite. That's why it's a secret. It remains a secret. Okay? Are we saying I am awareness and Ishvara is mithya? Is only all knowledge and all power which then depends upon me? No. Very good, Ruth. So what is it?
We are saying Ishvara is awareness plus power and knowledge.
Excellent. There is no, you're almost 99.9% right. The only slight correction is there is no real plus.
Ah,
Yes, that awareness which has the as though capacity to manifest the universe. Right?
yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True. So that means in Ishvara, don't dismiss Ishvara as mithya. That all knowledge and all power is what? Has its basis, as she says, is awareness. So what is the truth of Ishvara? Awareness. Ishvara is not totally mithya.
But in relation to awareness,
Exactly. So that means in one entity which is Ishvara, there is one aspect which is mithya and the other aspect which is the truth is awareness. Right? Correct. Correct. So our teacher has a term, don't throw away what? Baby with the bathwater. Don't make the entire entity of Ishvara as mithya. Then you think I am bigger than Ishvara. Ishvara is awareness which has the capacity to manifest the universe with its knowledge and power. Is that awareness? And in fact, Ishvara is not fooled by the manifesting power. It is you who is fooled by this manifesting power. Right? So therefore, Tattvam Asi means that Tvam, it seems you are very small compared to this Ishvara, but when you begin to see the universe, the only thing that you find is awareness. And that awareness, with reference to its power to manifest and the knowledge and with which it manifests the universe, you call it Ishvara. The same awareness with reference to one little individual with physical, subtle and causal body is what we call Jiva. The forms and functions are different, the substance is only one. Vedanta shows, in fact, the whole teaching of Vedanta is coming from Ishvara. Brahman does not teach. Awareness does not undergo any change. Through this teaching, Ishvara, what does it do? Lifts the veil so that you can see the true nature of I, true nature of Ishvara as one. This is the teaching. And in order to remove this veil, you need to do what? Listen to Vedanta Shastra from a teacher who has understood Because otherwise, I tell you, the confusion and the trips can be infinite. Infinite. Therefore, this is the whole teaching. Now, what is the teaching is summarized in the next few verses. We will see them quickly. We will say, here he says, Yat eva iha tat amrutra, yat amrutra tat iha mrityoha saha mrityu apnoti yaha iha nana iva pashyati manasa eva aptavyam neha nanasti kinchana mrityoho samrityum gacchati ya iha nana iva pashyati. Now the whole teaching is summarized, put in different words, right, to give you clarity. It's now the teaching is over. Yeah. If you didn't realize, the teaching is over. There is no one more term coming up. Okay? So therefore it says that which is here. What is the vision? What is this conveyed? That which is here alone is there. Okay? And that which is there alone is here. One who sees plurality, differences, as it were, goes from death to death. This is to be attained by the mind alone. There is no plurality at all here. One who sees plurality, differences, as it were, goes from death to death. Beautiful. Okay? Here he says, now yesterday's question. This verse reminds me of yesterday's question. Okay? The question yesterday was, it seemed like a spooky question, but a very interesting question. No, no offense. Fun, right? No, please don't feel, right? Now, is this glass inside you or outside you? That is a question. It depends, right? What is, how it depends?
Inside which one of me? Inside my awareness eye or inside my jiva?
What?
Inside which one of me? Like
Yes.
inside my jiva. It's not inside of my awareness. It is inside my awareness.
Okay. Okay. Okay, you have some other answer?
No.
No,
I
Sahaj.
think both. Both is right.
Both is right. What is
In
what?
a way, it's outside because it's outside. I can see it, and but like we said yesterday, like the picture of this glass is reproduced inside my brain, so it's in a way it's inside.
Okay, very good, very good. Okay. What she is saying is right. What she is saying is, and which is what Gabby said, if you say that with reference to this body, where is this glass? Outside. But with reference to awareness, exactly. Right? Easy, easy answer. Clear, crystal clear.
And it cannot even be inside because there is no outside.
Exactly. With reference to awareness, there is no inside and outside. There is no inside and outside. Everything
It's
is
just awareness.
exactly, absolutely.
We're
He's
sitting
even
for-
smarter, Gabby.
So that's the end.
Right. Neither actually you can say inside, but not even inside or outside, because inside and outside is a relative term. Inside with reference to outside, with reference to awareness, there is no inside, there is no outside. All that is here is one. Right? So therefore, this is what you need to understand, that what is amutra? Amutra means there, out there. What is out there? So many things out there. Okay? Whatever is out there is also out here.
Yeah.
Right? What is out there is here does not mean that the body which is there is also here. No. Right? That body occupies this time and that space, and this body occupies this time and this space. Through Vedanta, people get into some kind of an illusory state. Oh yeah, I'm at different places and now I had this experience, I was in India, and oh, people think this is all non-duality.
Magic.
Sorry?
Magic. We say
Magic, exactly. What is there is a form which is not here. The form is different. Then what is it which is common in this form and that form? The content of each form, which is awareness. So if you are speaking from the standpoint of awareness, you can say it is in the sun and it is also here. Okay? In Taittiriya Upanishad, it is beautiful. He says, Yaschayam Purushe Saha Cha Eva Aditye. What is here in me, that is also in the sun.
Sa ekaha.
Sa ekaha.
That is one.
That is one. That does not mean you are the sun. Sorry?
We are not the sun, but we have the same content.
Exactly. Right? That's what I'm saying. Don't resolve Vedanta at wrong places. The content of the sun, awareness, is also my content. This is clear for who? The wise person. The unwise people are fooled. By what? The forms. Obviously, that form is not the same as the sun form. Obviously not. The visual image, what does it say? Obviously, this form is different from the form of, and they don't look beyond. They stay at the level of form, they don't inquire into the content of the form. If you stay at the level of form, obviously there are differences. And this is what it says. The unwise people don't see one reality everywhere. They see what? You are different, I am different, he is different, that is, she is different. Now, when the wise people see non-duality, do they have to resolve all the forms? No. In spite of the forms, they see non-duality. This is knowledge. You can see the differences. You can see very clearly the difference between the individual and the sun. A wise person is not like somebody who's going to mental hospital because he has lost to distinguish between body and the sun. Sees the differences very clearly, but the differences within forms don't fool the person. Sees the content which is one. Right? So here he says that yat iha, that which is here, is also amutra. That is also at all. It's not only in the sun, it is also in the moon, it is also in the stars, it is also what? Everywhere which is known to me and unknown to me as an individual. Right? Here he says that mrityoho saha mrityo apnoti. If you stay at the level of forms, you go from mrityu to mrityu because you are fooled by the appearance. Then it says manasa eva aptatyam. how will you figure out that the content of the two apparently very different forms is only one? How will you figure out? Huh?
Inquiry.
By inquiry. Where does the inquiry take place?
Mind.
In the mind. The inquiry doesn't take place in Brahman. Understand that. The inquiry takes place in the mind, and you need to have a mind which is capable of inquiry. So therefore, don't negate your individuality. Your individuality is important for you to see the content, because the mind is required. Mind is required to, where you see two forms, to see the content and resolve the fact that two forms come from one content. You require to figure it out in your mind. Any spirituality which devalues mind by saying, oh, the mind is the one which is creating all this problem, now you have to go beyond, that is putting you on a trip. The mind is where the confusion is. Mind is where you need to resolve your confusion. And you need to understand the reality. Because the mind is where you understand, you learn to honor your mind. You can't bypass your mind.
And to understand the mind.
And to understand the mind. To understand the mind, and at the same time, what? Make it fine enough so that it can understand the reality. Use your free will. Right? Not only understand, but from that understanding you refine it further and further, so that it can see this reality clearly. So this is what it says, Manasa eva aptavyam. We are not trying to bypass our individuality. We are trying to use the gift of individuality to solve this problem, which is a perennial problem. Okay? So therefore, Manasa eva aptavyam. What? Na iha nana asti kinchana. There is no second thing here because of the content. Okay? Mrutyuha saha mrutyum gacchati saha iva nana eva pashyati. If the mind is not clear, first what? You will not even come to Vedanta Shastra, but second thing is, after coming to Vedanta Shastra, the truth will continue to elude you. So therefore, if you have not cultivated your mind, there is no way you can understand Vedanta. Okay? Then the question that people ask is, mind is a limited instrument or not? Yes, mind is a limited instrument. How can a limited instrument understand limitless? Common question.
I think
It can't?
yeah, not really.
No. This is not what Vedanta says. How can a limited mind understand limitlessness? A limited mind, if it had to produce limitlessness, it is impossible. But if limitlessness is already there, then if you remove the veil, the mind can understand it. It's already there. The mind is not producing limitlessness. If mind had to produce limitlessness, then this question is valid. With a limited thing, you cannot produce limitless. True. 100% logic. Luckily, mind doesn't have to produce limitlessness, which is not there right now. It is already there. Thank God. All it has to do is to just this little thing of removing the veil. See, something which is already there. Mind is understanding limitlessness, it is not producing limitlessness. And any commitment to experience is a conclusion that my mind will produce limitlessness. There is a huge logical error. With my experience, I will produce limitlessness. You have to start Vedanta with ABC again.
And mind is not becoming limitless.
Exactly.
It's staying limited while understanding limitlessness.
Excellent, Gabi. Right? By understanding the limitlessness, the mind is not becoming limitless. Right?
It's a pity.
It's a pity.
No, but you're anyways.
Staying limited, the mind staying limited, it understands its own truth, which is limitless.
But is it that the mind understands its limitlessness, it understands its limitation as well, huh?
Exactly.
That it's
The mind is limited, but the reality awareness is not as good as the mind. That's why the mind can be limited, but awareness is not affected by limitation of mind. This is the knowledge. But that doesn't mean the mind becomes without any limit.
Do we still need a mind when does
You
someone
better have
still
one.
need a mind when they recognize the reality of unlimitedness?
Okay.
Is the mind still important?
Okay, very good. That's a good question, right? So that means when you have understood your limitlessness, you have used your mind to the maximum possible and you figured it out. Now, this instrument, like any other instrument, will start deteriorating. It is subject to time, it is subject to space. All the things which were like right there, when you're 90 years old, the wise person is 90 years old. All the words are not coming as fast. All the verses are not just on top of the tongue. Knowledge is shaken? No. Why?
It has happened in the Buddha.
So?
It has happened in the Buddha.
So what? I mean, so what? Yes, true, it has happened in the Buddhi, but why then it doesn't matter?
Because the mind is undergo change.
Exactly, right? The person understands the mind will undergo change, awareness does not change. This is knowledge. While experiencing the deterioration of mind, I can understand the mind is deteriorating. You are not denying it. Awareness, which is the content of the mind, is decayless. Na jayate mriyate va vipaschita ajaha nityaha shashvataha puranaha. This is the reality.
Is this the sickness or the illness of Alzheimer? Is this like a example that the mind is, or is it
Yes.
only the brain? I don't know.
Yeah. Surya?
both.
Both.
I mean, the cognitive capacity of the mind
Is
are
impaired.
deteriorating the capacity to remember things, capacity to see faces and recognize, and also, some people go out and they don't know how to come back home.
Yes.
So this is all the capacity of the mind.
Yeah. So it's shrinking.
It's linked.
Yeah.
This is a very, our teacher used to say that so many students come to him and tell him, Swamiji, I understand this vision, but I have difficulty in retaining it.
What is
Retaining it means
Aufrechterhalten.
constantly having it in your memory. So now this question is this knowledge memory based? No. Because what is the nature of memory?
old stuff?
Yeah, and it keeps changing, right? What you remember some years ago, now you don't remember. What you will remember now, you will forget in the future. It's constantly changing. If you needed your memory to be just perfect in order to gain this knowledge, then what? the time will come that the memory will deteriorate. And along with the memory goes the knowledge. No. One, you understand that the memory will deteriorate, but I am awareness, then even when memory is deteriorating, there is no problem. For the person who has understood the knowledge does not mean that the subtle body and the physical body will always remain good. No, they will also, like any other body, will undergo change. What makes the person a wise person is the person understands while the body depends upon awareness for its existence, while the mind depends upon awareness for its existence, awareness is independent. This is knowledge, unshakable. The bodies will undergo change, the mind will undergo change. That change does not do anything to awareness. This is knowledge based on fact. Right? So, this, now let's move on further. The relationship between, and therefore it's not like tomorrow you go and you have to keep on reminding yourself, oh, I'm Brahman, I'm awareness, I'm awareness. You won't be able to go out there and work because constantly you have to have an alive memory, I'm awareness, I'm awareness, I'm awareness. Or you don't have to be in one state of constancy and say, okay, now I'm that awareness which is unchanging. That somebody was telling me, they were imagining. They said, yeah, the wise person is constantly in that constancy of I'm awareness, I'm awareness, I'm awareness, I'm awareness, I'm awareness. And then something has to be done, he'll just come down a little bit, do the job, I'm awareness, I'm awareness, I'm awareness. Unfortunately, I mean, fortunately, it was not that. You can be thinking, you can be singing, you can be watching, you can be doing anything. Once you've understood the relationship between physical, subtle, causal body and awareness, nothing can take it away. Nothing can shake it. That is what we call knowledge.
Freedom.
And freedom. That you gain from that knowledge. Okay? Next. Suryaha yataha sarvalokasya chakshuhu na lipyate chakshushaihi bahya doshaihi ekas tatha sarvabhutantara atma na lipyate loka dukkhena bahyaha. Okay? Beautiful. Very beautiful, because it says, just as the sun, the eye of the world, is not affected by the perceptual external impurities, the one inner self of all beings is not affected by the sorrows of the world being outside it. Okay? Very interesting. Another question which is very common for students of people who expose themselves to this vision is, so you mean to say Ishvara is everywhere? Yes. Ishvara is the cause of the universe? Yes. Is it all knowledge and all power? Yes. If it is all knowledge and all power, why is there so much misery in this world? Question. I see more violence, I see more sadness, I see more confusion than goodness. So if it is all knowledge and all power, how long does it take to fix it all? Like this. So why doesn't he fix it? And if he can fix it, and if he doesn't fix it, he's a sadist. And then why should I pray to a sadist God? Who can? If you can't fix my problem, I can't blame you. But if you can, and if you don't, then you are not such a nice, benevolent. On one hand, I'm told you're compassion, you're all love, you're all this. And here I'm miserable, and you have power and you have knowledge to fix my problems, and you don't fix it. Some problem here. Something is wrong. What is wrong? Ishvara is wrong? No. What is wrong? Your understanding of Ishvara is wrong. This is where any giving this whole entity status to Ishvara is a problem. The minute you make it into an entity, what happens is you are at the mercy of that entity. And that entity has a power over you. And with that power, it can really destroy you. You have no power if you don't behave.
Slight little mistake, such a big misunderstanding.
Exactly. Exactly. So therefore, to answer this question, you need to, there is something wrong there. In order to reconcile, you need to understand Ishvara better, the nature of Ishvara better. Okay? If you think Ishvara is using, it's an entity and it's using the free will that it has, like you and me have a free will, to give you suffering, you haven't understood at all the nature of Ishvara. Right? The nature of Ishvara, the Vedic vision of Ishvara is, what is it?
Manifesting all laws and
Exactly. Excellent, Ka. It is that intelligence which is manifesting in as all laws and all the forms of the universe. Don't make a distinction me versus Ishvara. Me versus Ishvara is a dualist, dual vision of duality.
It makes Ishvara like a jiva.
Exactly. Very good. Excellent, Sahajo. This whole orientation makes Ishvara as a jiva, one more entity. You, me versus you, and there's this whole big entity. Big entity because I have little power and this entity has this huge power and huge knowledge. Problem. Huge problem. Excellent way of putting it. Don't make Ishvara into Jiva by giving it a status of an entity. Ishvara is that which is what? As Carl says, it is all forms. If it is all forms, your form is excluded in that for all forms? No. It includes you. There are no two. Ishvara includes me, even that little form. One of the manifestation of Ishvara is this form. One of them. Ishvara is not only one form, it is all forms. It includes everything. If you look at the real definition of Ishvara, is any, like Surya was asking this question in the meditation, is anybody outside of this Ishvara? There is nobody. Is the time outside Ishvara? No. Is the space outside Ishvara? No. Is any object which exists within time and space outside Ishvara? No. If you look at the whole creation as one entity, which is Ishvara, what will remain? Only Ishvara. There is no second thing. Only Ishvara. You can say all that is here is Ishvara. that is here is Ishvara and truth of Ishvara. Ishvara with its capacity to manifest a form, and wherever that capacity is, the truth of Ishvara, which is awareness, is also there. It is Ishvara and truth of Ishvara. This is the vision. Otherwise, in any other way you see, you create a duality. And as long as you create, you think, because you are giving different names, Jiva and Ishvara, if you start thinking that there are all these entities called Jivas and Ishvaras and all that, you are on a trip.
Colorful.
We often are confronted with the question, I want to experience Ishvara.
Yes.
Yeah, and so it is okay to say, you already experience Ishvara.
Exactly. Show me
in
one
all
experience which is outside Ishvara. You reverse your question. We always have this orientation, oh, I want to experience Ishvara, as though you want to experience this totality with all knowledge and all power and all that. Right? You ask yourself this question, show me one experience which is outside Ishvara. The time is Ishvara, the space is Ishvara, your mind is manifestation of Ishvara, the capacity of mind to think is manifestation of Ishvara. That you think one thing at this time and not at that time is because of the arrangement of Ishvara. Show me one thing which is outside this Ishvara. Show me. Therefore, you're seeking to have one particular experience. That urge that we all have will go away. This is why in contemplation, right, our Swamiji is a master teacher. He used to do this. Initially in meditation, he would do a contemplation by making you see all that is here is Ishvara. Then he would shift and he would say, now I want you to do a contemplation where you see, try to be outside Ishvara. And if you have really understood what Ishvara is, even if you try really hard, you can't be outside Ishvara. This is knowledge. You convert your tendency of some extraordinary experience seeking into knowledge. This is a very good exercise. Become rational, become objective. Searching for something extraordinary to happen will keep you from this knowledge.
Can you be outside the grace of Ishvara?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. Very, very interesting question. Can you be outside grace of Ishvara? What do you think? Very good question.
No. There are simply laws which happen if you...
Okay, exactly. Right? You are a complete atheist. You don't believe in Ishvara. Right? And the other person is a very religious person, believing in Ishvara. Right? That atheist does gives help to somebody else who wanted his help. And this religious person, when somebody came to help, he said, no, I'm praying, I don't have time to help you. Who will earn the grace? He is atheist, he should not earn the grace. Is it true? As he says, there is a law. The law is The minute whether you recognize the presence of Ishvara or not, the minute you have extended yourself and done something to help somebody, you are rewarded. Punya will come in your account. Punya is what we call, when punya manifests, now understand, when punya, which is earned by you, manifests as conducive situation, when the conducive situation happens, you don't exactly know what is the cause. You don't know. Many times you know maybe, and sometimes you don't know. So there is a terminology that we use and we say this is grace of Ishvara. By using that terminology, we recognize the presence of cause and effect. We don't just say it's luck. It's not just random. Luck means random. You don't know. Here you say, yeah, there is some cause and effect which has produced this result, and in the terminology I say it is grace of Ishvara. Because that laws of cause and effect are not just mechanical laws, right? They are what? Manifestation of this all knowledge and all power. Yes? So therefore, potentially this grace of Ishvara is with everyone. But you can tap it further if you really understand what Ishvara is. In addition to helping others and all that, when you follow dharma, don't think that only when you pray you get the grace of Ishvara. When you follow dharma, dharma is manifestation of Ishvara. When during difficult situations you don't victimize others, you gain grace of Ishvara. When you take care of your subjectivities, you earn grace of Ishvara. When you express your love for this creation through prayer, through bhajans, through puja, you earn grace of Ishvara. Another form, multiple ways of gaining grace of Ishvara. You can align yourself with one law or the other. Every time you do that, you gain grace of Ishvara. Multiple ways of gaining grace, not only one way.
And multiple ways to gain Papa.
Multiple ways. Yes, multiple ways to gain Papa also. Okay, so here he says that once he understands that, he says ekas tatha sarva bhutantar atma. Now therefore, this intelligence and this awareness, oh my God.
After lunch we come again.
Okay, if you can just give me half an hour. Okay.
Sure.
Yes?
It was. Thank you.
Okay.
Now or one?
Okay, I'll just finish this verse. The next two verses are very easy. We will do it after lunch. Okay? So therefore, here he says that imagine you are looking at the sun and your eyes are defective and you don't see the brightness of the sun. And you conclude the sun lacks the light. Does it affect the sun? No.
Or clouds don't.
The clouds don't affect the sun. Sun is shining. Right? What you need to do is what? Make sure that you have what? Clear eyes so that you can see it. And the same example, you can see it in a different way. If Ishvara is everywhere, why are there criminals in the world?
The criminals are also Ishvara.
Exactly. Oh, a criminal is Ishvara? A serial criminal is Ishvara? How do you expect me to see serial criminal as Ishvara? This is where That's a good question.
Big.
Big question. Right. Just simple thing that you need to understand with this analogy. Then I will end. For now. Okay. Now, this up to now, I used this cup example to show you, right, that this cup seems to limit the space. Yes? But actually it doesn't. So now this cup stands for physical body, let's say. Now I add one more variable. Now I say that this cup is filled with pure spring water. And that cup is filled with some tea, hopefully. And the other cup, which is outside, not in this room, is filled with muddy water. So not only there are differences in the cup, there is also difference in what? In the contents of that cup. Right? When the there are not only physical differences, there is also difference in the content of the cup. Is the space affected by the content of the cup? No. Wonderful. Right? So that means there are many physical bodies, there are many minds, and one of it is a criminal mind. One is a saintly mind, which is like the content of the cup. Something contains pure water, something contains tea, something contains muddy water. These are all what? Differentiation at the level of mind. While all these differentiations exist, right, the awareness, which is equivalent of space in this example, does it get affected? No. Then why is it that that cup has muddy water and this cup has tea and this cup has pure water? You have used your free will to put what you want in that cup.
This is a short version.
This is a short version.
To bring us to lunch.
Right? Don't blame Ishvara for it. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnad Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti